Hello Baltimore, my name is Ardith Hall. I'm the owner of PUSH511 Fitness, located in the Brewers Hill, Canton neighborhood. We've been serving up fun fitness for over 12 years with group CrossFit classes, personal training, online coaching, and nutrition coaching. One of my favorite things to do is to sit down, talk with our members, and hear about their amazing stories. So today we're going to meet with member Maya Collins, who is an absolute, not lying, rock star of a human being. She's been a member of PUSH for a year and a few months, so a little bit over a year. Okay, Maya, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm originally from Columbia, Maryland, which is right down the road, about 15-20 minutes. I went to Hammond High School, ended up graduating and attending Hofstra University in Long Island, New York. But throughout my high school career, middle school really, all the way through college, I was always really into sports. So I played basketball in high school. I played lacrosse in high school. I also, at that point, was doubling with a 18-year-long dance career. So I was also a dancer. Yes, trained classically in ballet, jazz, tap, modern, hip hop, contemporary, anything really, you name it. So I was always doing a little bit of both. So in high school, I was also part of our dance company. Then when I went to college, I actually picked up rugby and played for the Hofstra University women's rugby team. So that's kind of where I've been so far. I have a mom, a dad. I have an older sister. So I basically, came back to Maryland in 2020 after living in New York and starting my career, and just wanted to be closer to home, be closer to family. So yeah, I'm glad to be back.
So what do you what do you do for work, and what do you like to do for fun?
So I am the manager of talent acquisition at Code and Theory. We're a digital-first creative agency based in New York. I help them find any sort of talent that they need to staff their company and work on the clients that they support. So everything from design directors to strategists, engineers, anybody that would be interested in working in the world of creative digital product design, basically. For fun, I'm very easygoing. I feel like I can have fun doing pretty much anything. So, on the weekends, you can find me lounging by the pool, spending time in the gym, hanging out with friends, going to have a drink. I hang out with my mom a lot. We're best friends, so I'll spend a lot of time in Columbia. I love going to food festivals and hearing live music. Anything really to just get outside, try something new. I have a very large group of friends, so there's always something happening, from weddings to birthday parties or anything along those lines. So yeah, really anything you name it, I can have fun doing anything.
Okay, I think don't you have a furry friend?
I do. My best friend, my furry best friend is Mabel. She is my fur daughter of about 6 years now. She's a little black cat that I am obsessed with. So you could probably see her lounging on my balcony if you ever pass by the building, or if you are familiar with when I lived in Brooklyn, she was the one being walked down the street on a leash. So yes, she is my best friend. I'm obsessed with her, a little too much maybe.
That is great. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to join PUSH.
So I just decided to join PUSH because, I'd always been an athletic person. I was always involved in sports. I loved sports. I loved team-centered activities, group-centered activities, from dance to basketball to lacrosse to rugby. And then when I was in college, I graduated college, I felt that I was really detached from that world. It was really about diving into my career and starting a professional life. And at the time, I didn't realize that that was probably one of the biggest things missing that was contributing to a lot of my unhappiness. But I was, dealing with a lot of personal things and just trying to make way in the world, really. And I didn't notice that that was something that had really kind of fallen to the wayside and taken a back seat. So I wasn't really doing anything. I was still an active person. I was still somebody that regularly went to a global gym, but didn't really have those team-centric activities anymore. My father actually was diagnosed with renal failure when I was coming out of high school. He was a semi-professional football player for a good majority of his life. He played for the DC Bears. He's one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to sports. But he had always dealt with health problems all the way into my adult life. So he got really, really sick, unfortunately, during the pandemic, not because of the pandemic, it wasn't COVID, but unfortunately a lot of the health problems he were dealing with started to just kind of collide, ended up being sort of a perfect storm scenario, and we ended up losing him in December of 2021. But you know, a lot of the things that he put up with, some, you know, were genetic, some were just scientifically of old age, obviously, but a lot of the things that he were dealing with could have probably been prevented or at least postponed if he had taken a little bit better care of himself in his adult life. And I have always struggled with that growing up. I've always yo-yoed with my weight, with my nutrition, with what my focus of my health was on. It's always been up and down and up and down. But when he passed away, I think it was just kind of the final wake-up call of, you're 30 years old, you don't want to go out like this. It was horrible to watch. It was horrible to be a part of. And I just basically told myself that this is the last time that I will let my health get away from me to the point where it's not a priority anymore. So I did a lot of research. I was looking for getting into personal training. Financially, it wasn't something I could afford in the past, but that was the beauty of growing my career, is it was something I knew I could invest my time and my money into if I found something and somebody that I really loved. So I looked at a lot of gyms in the area, the Baltimore area, and just kept seeing PUSH pop up. They had great reviews and just had a great website. And, you know, I went in to meet with Artie and have a consultation and talk about my goals and where I was. And it just felt like a very welcoming, warm environment. Not to mention it was right across the street from my apartment. So it was literally just like a couple steps away. So yeah, it felt right away like this is where I'm supposed to be. And this is a good decision for me. So yeah, I joined and started doing personal training. Once I really got the sport of CrossFit and the movements under my belt, started merging into taking classes, and then continued with that for pretty much the entire year. So yeah, it was an unfortunate scenario in my life that luckily I was able to make the best of and kind of turn it into a positive move forward for my own life.
Very good. So what have you noticed, like things that have changed, whether it's like happening inside the gym or outside the gym since you joined, like maybe your work and things like that? How's things changed for you?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of changes that I knew was going to happen as soon as I kind of got a handle on taking care of myself and prioritizing my health. You know, my nutrition, obviously I had better energy during the day. I just felt overall better, just physically feeling great. It's almost an indescribable feeling sometimes when you're just eating better and exercising regularly. It's like a feeling you can't really describe sometimes. But my mental health got better. I was dealing with stressful situations a lot more easily. You know, I wasn't holding on to a lot of things I think that maybe I would have had, you know, been carrying a weight of some sort of stress or anger or anxiety or something. I'm more able to easily let those things go. My attention to detail has gotten a lot better. Like my memory has gotten better, which is a little strange to think. My sleep cycle has gotten better, which before it was pretty atrocious. So yeah, there was a lot of things that I knew I was going to expect to see positive changes, but then there were even things that, you know, were surprising. Just my overall temperament was surprising, just to see how well I'm able to handle obstacles and stressful situations now. So that was really rewarding.
So about a month or so ago, didn't you do a little competition, something? Can you tell us a little bit of powerlifting and maybe some, I don't know, records maybe were set?
Yeah, so I got into powerlifting, and kind of by accident, but it was something that I'd always seen a little bit of here and there and said like, oh, that looks really cool. And I feel like I've always known I've had a bit of strength to myself. And I kind of attest that to my dad. He was a very big, very strong guy. I started taking classes with Shannon and talking to Shannon, getting closer with Coach Shannon about how much I really liked lifting weights. And she was like, are you sure you've never done that before? because you're kind of like freakishly strong for somebody who's never done this before. And she was really shocked about the volume of what I could lift as somebody that wasn't actually fully trained in the sport. So it just kind of piqued my interest to be like, well, let's see how far I can take this and like how good I can really get. And I started working with her. She was writing programming for me. I signed up for my first powerlifting competition, and yeah, took place on February 25th. It was hosted by the WRPF in Columbia, Maryland. It was the Chiseled Life Challenge, and I went 9 for 9, so I hit all my lifts. I did basically all 9 were new meet PRs because I'd never done a meet before, and then I hit 2 new personal record PRs. So that was really interesting. And then because the WRPF just recently switched to hosting drug-tested events, they have a lot of records that are open to be broken. So at the time, I had broken the Maryland state record for deadlift, back squat, bench press. I am no longer the record holder, but that is okay. It was really cool to see at first. And I'm just really happy that I went 9 for 9. So I'm looking forward to doing some more of those this year and, you know, in the following years.
That is amazing. So what are kind of your next goals? You mentioned doing maybe some more of the competitions. Have you any other goals you've set out there for yourself this year?
Yeah, I would like to definitely do more powerlifting competitions. I would love to do a CrossFit competition. I'm still getting into a lot of the movements. I feel like I have the weightlifting movements part of CrossFit down, but a lot of the endurance movements when it comes to gymnastics are things that are not my strong suit. So I have been working with some of the coaches on bettering those skills. So I really look forward to just being able to master things that I haven't really achieved yet, whether it's, you know, ring muscle ups or toes to bar, like, you know, being able to do 24-inch box jumps without thinking that I'm going to fall over, you know, things like that. Once I hit those, you know, sort of pillars, those are goals, little markers for me, little goals that I know are going to make me happy, whether it happens on a random Tuesday or in, you know, a competition. But I would love to do a CrossFit competition just to say that I did. When I first saw one, I thought it was very intimidating. So to think that I could actually be in one and do well would be really, really wonderful. So that's definitely something on my list.
All right. So what would you say to somebody that might be in your shoes a year plus ago, who's looking to join a new fitness program and particularly PUSH? What would be your words of wisdom now that you're a 1+ year veteran?
Yeah, I think like the easiest thing, and maybe it's a little cliche to say, is like just to start, you know? I know for a lot of people, for me specifically, I realized one of the things that was a limiting, motivating factor and why maybe I wasn't doing so well with my health after college is that I lacked that team group sport and working out by myself at, you know, like a Globo gym or something. It wasn't fulfilling what I needed. So I had to have enough motivation to say, okay, if this is something that I want to focus on and I want it to be important to me, I have to find what is going to motivate me and propel me. And I realized I need to be in a setting where I'm working out with other people that can hold me accountable, that can push me, that are doing the same thing I'm doing, you know, right next to me. There's something about that team setting that works best for me. Maybe that doesn't work best for everybody, but it works best for me. And if that's something that you're interested in, that's a good reason to join PUSH. But I would say just to start, and don't be afraid to start. And it doesn't matter how your start looks. You don't have to be the best at anything. There's going to be a million things you don't know how to do, but just being very consistent and showing up when you say you're going to show up, even on those days you don't want to show up, you're going to feel so much better that you did. And things are naturally going to change. Things are naturally going to improve, and things are naturally going to happen if you just commit yourself. And that's really all it takes. It doesn't take super strength. It doesn't take super endurance. It just takes a commitment to show up and try, and you'll be really surprised what just is naturally going to happen when you put that just at the forefront of everything you do. So the other great aspect about joining PUSH is not only obviously the physical fitness, but also the social aspect. So when I joined PUSH a couple months into being a member, we decided to kick up our social events again, and I was somebody that wanted to help contribute. So me, along with 2 of our other members, Mike and Sarah, helped plan some of the events that we get to do as a group. So everything from happy hours at some of the local bars in the area, to going axe throwing, river tubing, you know, pretty much anything that you can think of. We try to come up with a few fun events each month, and it's really rewarding. So if you're somebody that's new to the area or somebody that is looking to make friends and just connect on a social aspect, that's another great reason to join the gym, because you're going to make friends, you're going to meet people, and some of the people that I have met at PUSH are people that are going to be at my wedding, so, and probably next to me for the rest of my life. So I'm very, very, very thankful for those relationships as well.
Thank you, Maya, for sitting down today. Your story is so inspirational. I'm sure people will enjoy listening to it. One thing that I'm so excited and happy you're part of the PUSH family is that you just embody our values of health first, positivity, and health. So thank you very much.
So thank you for having me, and I'm excited for many PUSH years to come.